In shadows we lurk, in shadows we play. This is Night Shift. Safe trip. Gatesail, and goodbye, goodbye, and goodbye, goodbye.
Welcome, then Bein E. I could perfectly well look up the exact pronunciation. It's spelled out perfectly clearly on the Facebook page and that sort of thing. But what's the point in that?
We did realise we misspelt it several times in the past.
That wasn't on purpose at all. Not at all.
I'm the first time I've actually got around to having a chat about things. And the first time I've got you
together.
actually,
It's so exciting.
And it's like first time I've managed to actually figure out a time where we could actually play together and that as well, you know. Right?
Yeah.
Do you know when the first time I actually caught you live was?
Was it Reading? It
No.
must have been Reading.
No, it was Leeds.
Southampton.
Leeds? Oh,
With,
that was lovely.
With Deaf Neon.
Santiago's.
That's the one, yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
that was a very special gig, and not just because the entire venue was running off one power plug.
It is indeed always such fun to do this whole gigging malarkey. So anyway, yeah, and just in case there's anyone sort of encountering you for the first time, your ambient industrial gothy stuff, how do you feel?
Interesting. So I think when we started out, we were definitely, the influences were like real early proto-industrial. Like the very first thing Tiff and I did together was we did a cover of Psychic TVs in the nursery. So we kind of saw ourselves as industrial, I think, and then everyone was like, "Oh, you're kind of this ambient goth band," and we were like, "We're making horrible noises," but apparently it's actually like quite chilled ambient on the other side.
Yeah. There is obviously, I mean, it's quite clear that there is certainly when you say look at the live at home video, for example, there is such darkness to it. But again, as you say, there is kind of that sort of more ambient-y atmospheric stuff to it. So how does the sort of ideas of atmosphere fit into things? I mean, rather than being, say, a band on the stage sort of thing, do you see it as more a sort of you're trying to create more a feel and that sort of thing with it?
So for me, it's always about being a voice for the voiceless. It is dark, and it is dark, but there's a reason for that. The ambient music just kind of goes with the mood, I think. We don't sing about particularly nice things, and the style of music that we do is reflective of what we sing about. And I think it's important. I think it's important that we are projecting this out, particularly in today's so whilst I don't think it was a conscious choice, I think it just kind of works.
I think from my point of view, some of like how we come across live is, I don't think we'd ever want to be a band that just you come and you hear some songs.
Yeah.
We want it to be like an experience. So that means, like, for example, we've been having stage banter or cuttings between songs, and we want it to be a seamless, continual experience. Because if you're dealing with, like, especially like often quite dark, quite problematic subjects, I just it works sometimes. Like, don't get me wrong. You can deliver that in coherent 4 or 5 minute chunks as songs, and it really hits home very hard. But equally, for what we're putting out, it kind of always in my head felt like it shouldn't be here are some songs. It's here is a performance. Especially since we've got Mark on board, who's unfortunately not with us today, and we think probably won't be at the gig because he's catastrophically overcommitted with all of his other projects. Um, uh, Preparing to do Unleash Eurodance on Resistance Festival 2 weeks later. And since we've got Tom on board, so I think, yeah, now we've got more of us, it allows us to kind of have building an atmosphere so there's something happening all the time. While there are coherent individual pieces of music, songs in it, that it's not here's a let up and we've stopped, have a breather, here's the next song. It's we want to kind of just flow through constantly. When Mark joined the band, he got really into the idea of, and I think because it was the first gig that you saw us, everyone sat down on the floor.
Right. Yes.
At Santiago's.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is great. People should do this more, and started bringing duvets and cushions to gigs after that, and encouraging everyone to come and sit on the floor.
It's a fabulously different way of doing things, and I very much approve of finding new ways of experiencing things.
I think they need a safety blanket afterwards.
Yeah.
I certainly feel that we put the fear into atmosphere.
Yeah, excellent.
And
word
the idea that Simon said about it being like an experience, it's not so much, oh, I've gone to a lovely gig to see my friends play, or, oh, this is going to be really nice. It's, oh shit, I'm lost in a forest, it's dark and there's someone running after me. That's kind of where we are with it at the moment.
And I think our favourite compliment is, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah, I mean, I need.
I found someone after a gig is, we sound like the nasty end of the late 1970s.
No, that sounds. I mean, there's obviously. I think people would easily sort of suggest there's, like, say, throbbing gristle that could be sort of identified as a possible element of it and that sort of thing. But there's lots of things that can occupy similar sort of territory. I'm trying to think of one right now, but I'm because I've been dashing about getting ready for this, I've forgotten everything that it was in my head about half an hour ago. But anyway, yes. Yeah, I have sort of a slightly different sort of mode of doing things myself, in that it is sort of still basically songs, but I still try and present a sort of theatrical thing. And I definitely, when you look at, say, the at home video, that's a thing I found. There's not an awful lot of video available of you, I found, apart from quite a long time ago, which proved a little difficult for doing promo videos and that sort of thing. But but like the home video, that I think that was a tremendously good production, and it does sort of give that sort of, if you like, horror movie aesthetic. I guess you could sort of imagine sort of the likes of how would you feel about sort of it being in effect connected to, say, the Eraserhead soundtrack, for example?
Yeah, we love David Lynch. We do. We absolutely love him, and I mean, certainly his influence. I remember as a teenager watching Twin Peaks and Blue Velvet, and there was a guy on BBC Two called Alex Cox, and he would present Very, Very Strange. films like Martin by George Romero. Was it Romero?
Yes,
Yeah,
Romero.
Martin is a boy
Um,
with
you-
problems. Martin has a family history.
My first taste of Eraserhead, watching Alex Cox present it on BBC Two. And I was just hooked, just absolutely hooked. And yeah, it, absolutely adore the guy. That's a nice compliment, thank you.
But I mean, I it definitely, I mean, that sort of slightly askew world, I think, is definitely the sort of, and all that, those feelings of sort of the things of sort of, if you like, I guess you could say, sort of taken a turn for the worse, so to speak, in a bizarre.
Martin is a boy with problems. Martin has a family history.
Those sort of nightmarish imagery on occasion. But the thing is, we are kind of, I'm sure you would very much suggest that today's day we seem to be living in a nightmare world. So how is it that the modern world being as how it is, how is that influencing what you are singing about and so forth? Because I mean, you said those are sort of in effect elements of where you are musically and that.
Quite interesting that a lot of what we're hopefully going to be airing at the gig, and a lot of what like sits in our live set a lot is stuff that we wrote during the first Trump presidency that's dealing with things like women's lack of basic rights, also homophobia, also the rising spectre of nuclear war with
Yes, that seems a thing.
Yeah.
We all
and
grew up with and went through in the 80s.
I did think when looking at the set, and then like all the stuff came out about Iran, and it was like, oh holy shit, Black Rain's gonna sound a bit different in this context. So I think some of the stuff you might pick up from events, and it's what you're experiencing, and you go, right, okay, what can I write about this? But then sometimes the events kind of recontextualize what you've previously written, so you end up seeing what's already there in a slightly new light.
and I think especially we with things like Black Rain, and we do a cover of Current 93 / Crass doing Falling Back in Fields of Rape.
Yes.
We started doing at a time when like in the late 2010s, where there was a lot of fucked up shit happening, but it didn't necessarily feel as contextually relevant and current as perhaps it now does, with how things are in Gaza, Iran, Ukraine, Sudan. It's you think, yeah, you can have very strong opinions about what you believe politically and be saying these things, and then stuff happens, and you think we've just and as Tiff was saying, like all having grown up with kind of the idea of nuclear war and of a lot of catastrophic, evil, imperialist show wars 20, 30 years ago.
And you see it come back around, you just wonder why people haven't learned.
Yeah, I mean, it is quite funny how we get that sort of how the much repeated phrase "lest we forget," and yet it seems absolutely people have utterly forgotten,
Yeah.
2 world wars and all the horrific things that have happened since. It does very much seem that people have forgotten, and the spectre of nuclear war. I mean, speaking of that, I remember in the early 80s time there was a sort of anti-nuclear protest here in Doncaster where they'd painted like outlines of bodies on the floor in the what is now city, then town. They were saying like, look, this is sort of in effect everyone dead from nuclear war, and that would be sort of probably around the time of Threads as well. So the spectre was so very real. And then for a fair few years we've kind of had it where we've felt like maybe that threat seems to have diminished, but now in this year we seem to be ever closer, and it's horrible. I mean, I'm sure this is I don't know if you ever had this next subject at all in your songs, but I felt strongly that there's been such demonization of trans people in the modern world, and I'm just sort of constantly horrified by it, which is why I'm doing my 50th birthday festival, so to speak, in support of trans people, because I'm just sick of just people who trying to exist just as people being demonized as sort of public enemy number one. And does that come into songwriting of yours at all?
The majority are transgender, and we absolutely love and adore them, but we're not transgender, and what we shouldn't be doing is we shouldn't be taking their voice.
I mean, I think it's something where we know a lot of very good, especially trans noise musicians who we very happily work with on stuff. But it's so like when Tiff's talking about things like restriction of rights, women's rights to abortion and birth control, that's really from a point of experience. When Tom's doing songs about homophobia, like,
I'm afraid you're a bit indistinct, so I think it's advisable if you try and speak up as much as possible, because quite often we're kind of losing you from the feed. It's very sort of muffled quite often, so if you can try and be as clear as possible.
So I think it's, as Tiff was saying, there's a thing where you really want to very much support all of our trans siblings in this fucked up world, but there's always that balance between you want to call out injustice, but you don't want to usurp the voice of someone who is in a demonized category due to our shitty neo-Nazi media, that when you should instead be lifting their opportunity to give their voice. And I think that's the thing that we always feel, it's getting the balance right. That you want to put across how fucking shit the situation, especially that trans people are facing in this country, in the States, all across the world is. But equally, you don't want to usurp somebody else's voice.
Perhaps we can sort of go into the methodological side of how you actually get the music together then, because I mean we are supposed to be a music sort of show, so I should probably actually deal with your music a little bit more rather than just political beliefs, even though that I think it very much feeds into it. So
we can talk about that forever.
I mean the thing is, there's so much. I mean obviously my wonderful girlfriend Gwen in the States is forever facing horrific anti-women stuff. Anyway, but how do the experiences of what you do come together? I mean, where do the ideas tend to form and gestate mostly?
I mean, for
it's
me,
all Tiffany's idea. Tiffany covers everything.
No,
she writes all the music, and
not
all the
all,
others are just eye candy.
No, not that's hilarious.
You've got to give these men.
I don't think eye candy is not hilarious.
I mean, they're only men. You just got to give them a chance occasionally.
Why time?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. For me, it's very cathartic, and I probably could say it was demon driven. It's the lyrics come because of experiences and things that have happened, or things that I don't like and I want to write about, or other people have experienced. And I put that into a form, and then I give it to Simon, and Simon go, here you go. And Simon goes, I know what to do with this. And then he, genius that he is, he brings up some amazing music, and we put it all together.
So, like, from a technical writing point of view, Tiff will write lyrics for a song, record some lyrics, and then send them to me. Like, no music, no nothing. I will then descend upon it with a metaphorical pair of scissors and like recut it, rework it into the kind of soundscapes that work for us. And I think likewise when Tom's written stuff, I take people's lyrics and then we rebuild it into weird noise structure songs.
How do we take what has essentially come from the assorted thrash metal records of 1989 and then refit it into an industrial soundscape? Is that's kind of what you're dealing with from me, isn't it? Really.
But I think it's very interesting because I think we do our songwriting kind of backwards to a lot of people. I get the impression a lot of people start off and you get a hook and you write a melody and you're like, okay, and we've got song, we fit lyrics around this, and we go, someone puts down what they're feeling and that's delivered sometimes just as basically spoken word poetry, and we then rebuild music around it. Tracks that are more instrumental, generally I've come up with some ideas that I want to try and put together, although some of that's kind of weird music concrete stuff of like, oh wow, that sounds great, I need to sample that, I need to write a track around these stupid samples. There's an entire song that's made out of covered doors in a hotel in Bristol. I'm like, statistically, this is fantastic. Meanwhile, the person in the next room's like, it's 3 o'clock in the fucking morning. I am trying to sleep. I'm like,
oh, was it you that was keeping Morrissey up? Yeah, now we know it was you keeping poor Morrissey up, causing him to cancel his most recent gig. Oh.
Yeah.
like if I had managed to make Morrissey cancel a gig, I would be singing it from the rooftop.
Sorry. No, you've just given us an idea.
So as you can see, we're dreadfully serious people. You know?
So also, I presume also you've got Venus based on, say, what we've got entered to Eurovision this year. I presume that's your ambitions for next year.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think Eurovision is our bag.
No, I think go down the storm.
Worked, but not quite the storm they're kind of aiming.
An electrical storm.
I can't you write a 3-minute pop song for Eurovision? I mean, honestly.
But we love Sam. You know, Sam's brilliant, and I really hope he does well. He's just fantastic, and if you've never been to a Look Mum No Computer gig, you must go, because he's just incredible, and he is so talented and so clever, and comes up with all his clever ideas. He's just yeah. We love that.
Certainly, as his sort of name, band name, so to speak, implies, he certainly tends to do it the hard way with things. So, have you ever thought of, maybe investing a few £1 million into some analog modular systems to take on tour with you?
Diamond Studio, it's already there.
The weird thing is, I spend far too much money buying synthesizers, and I get very excited, and I'm like, I can make some fantastic noises out of that, and then inevitably when it comes to live performance, it comes back to tiny cheap little things like monotrons and K-oscillators and a bunch of guitar pedals, because there's a level of just weird analog, you don't know what's going on, you've just shoved everything through guitar pedals. I really like how organically it comes out. But then I get very excited. I'm like, I'm going to buy this synth and it's going to be amazing. And then I'm never going to play it live. I've got this tiny little horrible stylophone run through 2 distort pedals and a delay.
Right, anyway, we're pretty much out of time for the meeting, so anything else you'd like to add, perhaps, that I've potentially missed? I know you're kind of excited about playing a Dublin Castle, so why is that
We are.
exciting and important to you?
So obviously the Dublin Castle's got an amazing history. It may not necessarily be our bag, but bands like Baby Shambles have played there, the Pogues played there. There's tons and tons of indie bands, Blur, that from the London scene that have played for Dublin Castle, and history is just incredible. There's a lovely girl, and I cannot remember her name. She's pop, and she did one of the Barbie songs, and she's brilliant. She is absolutely brilliant. And she played there, and I'm just so excited to be on the same stage as these amazing people that have shaped our music history.
I mean, Madness is sort of a significant thing, sort of very much painted on the walls in various places and that, and Amy Winehouse obviously also got significant history with the place. So these are two very, very significant figures in the music industry that have significant connection there. So anyway, I will.
And we get to play with you.
Yeah,
we get to play with you, and that's so exciting.
Well, there's always a downside to everything.
And we work hard to be the downside.
Don't we all? Right, yes, anyway, it's been a love. Oh, and why haven't we got any cats around, honestly? That's what we really wanted.
Right, she's
You just sleep off camera.
Right, she's having a little kip. It's all a bit.
I thought I was going to get to interview some cats, and now it's just no good. It's the only reason I let you on, I was just hoping to get some. Anyway, thanks a lot for your time, and I look forward very, very much to seeing you live once again. It's been quite a while, so I've just never happened to be around my sort of area, it seems, but looking forward very much for an afternoon. How on earth is what you do going to go down at sort of 2 PM? I don't know, it just is. I look forward to seeing you.
I mean, one thing that I really like in your 20s and 30s, you're like, yeah, cool, late night gigs, and then as you get old, mid-afternoon gig, you say, this is the best thing. I was DJing a day rave the other week, and it was so nice to be like, right, well, we've all done, the whole event is finished, and we're walking out and it's still daylight. This is nice. Have a cup of tea.
Home, relax for the evening, have a cup of tea, watch EastEnders, and then go to bed. There's a gig on in what's that? Sorry?
I'll be blamed for giving people nightmares this time.
We will.
Early afternoon trauma.
That's the goal.
There's a gig on in London on the Friday, which I quite fancy, but it doesn't actually start until 11 PM. It's like, what? That's bedtime. Anyone would think I'm nearly 50 or something. Anyway, it's been lovely to talk to you, and I will see you on the 29th at Dublin Castle. Bye for now.
I wanted my body to be as ugly as I felt on the inside. Symbols written on my skin, waiting for someone to decipher them, waiting for someone to read between the lines. Waiting for a hero that never came. This isn't glamorous. This is pain.
ends today. Lost in the road, lost on the trail, coming closer, closer my tail, pushing forward, never onward, never stopping, never spiraling. Lost in the road, lost on your trail, coming closer, closer my tail, pushing forward, never onward, never stopping, never spiraling. Ever spiraling, my dear Velocette, take me away from here to wherever. Here are the things that remain. Seems like I'm chasing forever, but my will doesn't change. 1,000 miles an hour, coming closer, closer to you. The engine pulls faster now into the night. Night comes quickly, always calling, calling onwards. Always onwards, you can't stop me, no one can. Ever falling, falling forwards, falling forwards. The engine pulls faster now into the night. Night comes quickly, always calling, calling onwards. Always onwards, you can't stop me, no one can. Ever falling, falling forwards, falling forwards, falling. My dear Velocette, take me away from here to wherever. Here are the things that I catch a glimpse of you, who you were. I will become. We the two that are broken, shattered pieces, fragments of pieces, endless jigsaw. Find the fragments, gather together, form a circle, direct circle, lost together, lost together. We the two that are broken, shattered pieces, fragments of pieces, endless jigsaw.